calm in the early morning shadows, the baby blinked open her eyes. Above her was the purplish morning sky. Her eyes were too new to focus on the faint stars scattered in their spring constellations. A train screeched lightly in the distance, and she flinched. But she didn't cry. She flexed her plump fingers and waited. While the guard dozed in ignorance, and her mother's footsteps faded into silence, one of the strangest, most miraculous, most uncanny events in city history unfolded in the little alley beside the rail yard. The pigeon stared into the face of the baby. The baby stared back at the pigeon. The pigeon zoomed up to the dovecote on the roof where his flock slept and woke them. Not everyone thought his plan was a good one, but some of them were curious enough to skim down to see what he meant. An abandoned human squab. Strange indeed. As a dozen birds scrutinized her, the baby's eyes widened. Then she smiled. "Rain soon," said Burr, the pigeon with the white striped wing. He could smell it in the air. "Needs shelter, squab." "True," a burly pigeon named Hoop said. "Bad for squabs, rain." "Lift squab up, us," Burr said. "Take her to dovecote, us." The others hesitated. "Right, Burr is," said Pim, a very old bird. "Needs care. Hurry." While the baby turned her small head every which way to look, 12 pigeons nicked their beaks into her bundle. Some grasped her wool shawl, others the soft pink blanket sandwiched beneath. 2 or 3 managed to hook into the cotton romper she wore snugly snapped against her body. The pigeons began to flap their wings, soothing as a swaying cradle. Faster and faster they flapped. Loose feathers spiraled into the darkness. They flapped still harder. A warm breeze tumbled down the alley, tickling the weeds as it went. When it reached the birds, it pushed under their wings. The babies swaddling tight in their beaks, the wind whistling through their feathers, the pigeons lifted off. In his hut, the dozing night watchman stirred. What was that rustling? He stood up, scattering donut crumbs from his lap and knocking an empty coffee mug to the floor. Outside, the pigeons startled at the noise. One lost grip of the shawl in his beak, and the bundle shuddered. Burr flapped his wings faster. Never had he flown so hard. The birds recovered. Hoisting the bundle in spurts and staggers, they heaved above the watchman's hut, over the chain-link fence, up and up and up. The pigeons steered a few feet to the left and landed on the roof outside the doorway of their cozy dovecote. The baby opened her eyes and looked around at her new home. Chapter 1. Roof. Every day for Koo and her flock began the same, even the day when everything changed. Koo woke when the sun rose, crawled from her nest of newspaper on the dovecote's floor into the brightness of the roof, and looked over her collection of plastic bags. She liked to put on a new outfit in the morning, something the pigeons didn't understand at all. Her hands brushed against a red bag she loved, and she sighed. Like many of the others, it was painfully small now. Instead, she stuck her feet into the holes she'd ripped in the bottom of a large yellow bag, shimmied her arms through the handles, and patted it out with some newspaper. Freshly dressed, she picked over the pigeons' morning haul of dumpster food for the least smashed donut and settled down to nibble her breakfast while she watched the trains slide along their tracks in the ragged brown field below. Beyond, hazy in the distance, were trees and fences and a hodgepodge of big and small buildings packed together. She watched the tiny figures of other birds, ones she didn't know, glide in the sun between the jumbled rooftops. The air was cold and smelled clean, like autumn.